the button. You hit the button. You hit the button. You hit the button. You got what I need. Hit the button. Yep.
What it do, what it is, man. It's your boy Jay Moore, man. Super duper excited for today's show, man. If y'all haven't checked out last week's episode, make sure you check it out on your time. Also, make sure you go follow the Tales of Two Hoods on Instagram. What's good, what's good? We're going to be interviewing Producer Plug. My guy, Producer Plug. So I'm going to send my guy the invite real quick. It's going to be dope. Today's going to be a dope episode. Waiting on my guy. What's good, Mono? What's good? Chef, congratulations on your new vehicle. Really happy for you. Shout out to everybody who came in today on this live to tune in, man. Literally, we got a special episode for y'all today. Last week's episode, we interviewed cast producer Keys. Today, we're going to be interviewing Producer Plug. I'm just waiting for him to join this live. I already sent him the invite. So welcome to the Tales of Two Hood. Today's show is brought to you by Urban Prophet Society. It's sponsored by Neo Roman Clothing Line and Jay Morrow Appear. And we're going to be talking with Producer Plug today. I'm just waiting for my guy. Waiting for my guy to join this live. I sent him the invite already. Yo, Brass, if you're on here, hit him up. Hit him up and remind him to jump on the live. I sent him 2 invites already. And I'm not worried. Look, that's what's up. I know he wasn't going to flop. We spoke to him today. What's good, my guy? Producer Plug sent the invite so I could approve you so we could get this on and popping. Again, no, Tom to send Producer Plug sent the request to join my live so I could get this we could get this show on the road. It should be in the bottom of your Instagram live page. You should have a plus sign or something enabling you the chance to request to jump on this live. We're gonna try this again. Yeah, man. Accept. Yo. What's going
Peace.
on, man? Peace, God. How you doing, bro?
Peace.
Peace, man.
Supreme Rising.
You're ready, bro. I'm super excited to have you on the show today, bro. Seriously. It means a lot to me.
Thank you for having me first and foremost, and thank you for even considering me to be being interviewed on your platform. It means a lot as well.
Yo, I'm really grateful, bro. And you know your family, man. Yo, tell the people a little bit about yourself before we jump in the interview. You know what I mean? You know how it is out here. Everybody's like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Nobody really knows the people in the background that put in the work. You know what I mean? Only the people in the industry know the people in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Peace. My name is Producer Plug. I go by many different attributes outside of Producer Plug: Phantom, Distro Lord, Bilal Ali X. But right now, I'm going off the title Producer Plug. It's a platform I started in 2019 with my brother Large Professor, uh, one of the architects of hip hop, and I basically told him that I wanted to bridge a gap between our generation and this younger generation, and I feel that there's not no platform right now that's bringing the two together. So like I said, we started this November 2019, and we've been going strong, and especially during the pandemic. I've worked with multiple legendary artists, um, from from ODB. This is one of the projects I did with ODB. It's called Osiris.
Yeah, fire, bro.
This is my A&R credit for this album. All right, I'm the guy. So I'm the guy who signed ODB to end the situation. Big shout to Dame Dash. Big shout to Big Face Gary for putting those pieces together, and also a big shout out to Royal Flush for also being a big contributor of vocals and writing for ODB on this album as well. Um, Also work with people like Large Professor, also people like Kanye West, Consequence.
Let's go, bro.
Uh,
Yo,
my big bro, Ghostface Killer, Street Life from Wu-Tang Clan, and man, just countless others. Oh, my enlightener, intelligent hoodlum. He's the one that, between him and the God Killer Shah, rest in peace, they're the ones that gave me enlightenment, and also you know gave me the jewels that I need to move forward in the wilderness of North America. So aside from all that, man, just just helping a lot of people in the producer game, especially younger producers, so they can know the ways to really move and guide through this industry, man, because it's not for the weak, and it's not for the people that only got no tough skin, because the music industry is an industry of what have you done for me lately, and then also Grand Rising.
good
This is
morning, word to everybody.
Grand
Word, God
Rising,
bless.
Grand Rising. My boy on John Newsom Studios. I'll be DJing his museum opening on New Year's Eve in Kansas City. So much love, much love.
Word, much
Uh,
love, John.
and one of the greatest fine artists of our generation, of our time. He makes these immense masterpieces that I have never seen anyone do before, and the detail and the textures and also the concepts that he uses is on a whole other level, you know.
Nah,
But
yeah, most def.
yeah, like my main thing was right now was to bring these younger kids and put them on to people that put me on, and how much they have helped me in my life. A lot of people don't understand that. You know, Large Professor always told me music is spiritual. You know, music is spiritual, and when you disrupt the spirit, that's when it's not gonna flourish the way it's supposed to flourish. So I always keep myself very, very grounded, but also I just if I know something and I already have the knowledge, and I've been around some of the most you know gifted artists of our time, I'm gonna let the knowledge be born as well.
Word, most def. Yo, I just want to give you your flowers. Round of applause for all the accomplishments and everything you've done in your career so far. Also, I want to let you
Thank
know,
you.
us at the Tales of Two Hoods, not only you, but we're gonna send a gift out to everybody. All our previous guests since we started the show. It might be a T-shirt from Neo Rome, T-shirt from Jay Morrow, and we got some buttons. Might send that your way as well.
All right, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Nah,
it.
most definitely, bro. And I wanted to ask you, like, I know you was talking about how you have that thing with your bro, for the producers. I believe it's called Producer Plug, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you said you trying to basically become the bridge between the new producers and the old producers, and basically enlighten them, and help them and guide them in the right direction. Like, what is that like? How would that look, more or less? Like, for example, for me, like, I'm a new producer. I'm an artist at first, Jay Moru. I got my album. I just released a single. I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm freaking all the way up. I just started. But anyways, my point is, I learned a lot from my album, and I seen that, spend a lot of money on it, and it's not about the money, but I
It's
also
not. It's not. It's not really money. It's your investment. The
yeah,
only
yeah,
it's an
that's
investment. It's an
but
investment. It's not you spent money. You put money and you invested money into your craft.
not yet. Most definitely, what I was gonna say was is that I just became a father. So I'm just to father her, and I'm about to have another child. So my point was, I just built my studio in my crib, so I don't have to always spend as much money, basically. You know what I mean? Because I will go pay for the beat, then go to the engineer, pay for the studio time, and then I probably record 2 or 3 songs with him, but I still gotta go back to him again to pay him again to now mix and master those songs. So I was just like, you know what? I wanna I want to learn this all the way around, the business side, everything. So I just dove in it. I'm not even comfortable with it, but I practice every day, bro. So what would Producer Plug do for like a producer from like me, basically, who just starting out, and how would that benefit them?
Yeah. So, like I said, I started Producer Plug because first and foremost, I want to have the architects, people who've been in major rooms, who shifted the paradigm of the frequencies to meet younger producers who kind of like they might have something but they might be lacking in an area, like maybe the synths are not on range correctly or the drums ain't hitting right. So it's always good to hear from people who shift culture and shift the paradigm to give you that enlightenment, you know, to be like, hey, I like the beat, but the mix don't sound right. The bass is too low. You can use a different drum kit, and I feel like that's the main thing right now, right? And then also we have something called Big Cook Sessions, where we get producers from all over to come into a studio, and they'll be in 2 to 3 different rooms, and they have assignments to do, and my main thing is like in the lessons is each one teach one, right? So at the end of the day, when they leave their little 6 hour class or 12, they do the whole 12 hours straight, they're all learning from each other, right? And they're building a network. And I feel like sometimes when you go into these big rooms, it's like that. It's 12 producers, it's 24 producers, 4 producers in one room, another 4 producers in the other room, another 4 producers with the main artist, with the engineer and all that. So the main thing is for y'all to like find what your weaknesses and build it up. you know, I give a lot of producers, I give them kits, and I also bring in top-notch engineers that really know the game, that are gonna be patient, like and teach these kids ABC. I feel like even with myself right now, like I'm learning how to use FL, so I got one of my young guys to teach me FL. Because like you said, the main thing is to be an all-around person. um
Yeah,
one of the stories of me getting to learn how to do Pro Tools is I'm in the studio with Meth and Street. They're working on 421 album. They're in the 36 chamber studio in Manhattan, and RZA pulled up a beat, which became Glide. And
so
they
amazing.
like they had to join on repeat. And I'm sitting there and Mess writing his verse, but the engineer, he was nowhere to be found. Riz already bounced, and Meth came to me. He's like, "Yo," he's like, I know you know how to do this, yo. I want to lay my verse real quick." And I was like, "Yo, I don't know how to use Pro Tools," right? And that was like a like a good lesson for me to like learn how to use Pro Tools, right? Like at least be like, yo, Meth, yeah, I know how to do this. Let me patch you in, let me
Yeah,
record,
yeah,
what system, what bus I gotta put in, all this stuff. Let me put your
yeah.
reverb in. Like,
And
you have to learn these things, and
you know what's crazy? My bad to cut you off. It's crazy because like the studio you was in, they probably 36 Chambers. They worked with him already, so you know they probably had presets for him already. But like you said, you didn't know how to utilize the app, but you wanted to, the program, but you wanted to, and that's beautiful, bro. I just
yeah,
want to
and a
applaud
lot
you for that.
and a lot of people also, um they learn how to record themselves, just like how you said, like you invested into a studio so you can just knock out your verses, and then from there you go into a bigger studio, where you can get an engineer to do what his craft is. Your craft is to lay the vocal down, but his craft is to make you sound better, and basically, be in synchro with what your frequency and how your texture is supposed to sound like, and I feel like that is super important that yeah, everyone, you can be that guy or you can be that girl, right? That can do
Yeah,
that can do everything, right? But when you have someone that that can take it to the next level, like when you get in the room with like a Marley Marl and you want him to mix your record, right? He's gonna take it to the next level. He might change the snare different, and then also, like, people like Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, for the Black album, he got Dr. Dre to mix his album, you know, and it's like
yeah,
he got Dr. Dre to mix his album because Dr. Dre, A, is a producer, B, he's an artist, but C, he knows how to work them boards, right? So my main thing is like you got to learn all across the board, and a lot of people get discouraged sometimes because of the learning process and the learning curve, right? And that's why Producer Plug is so important, is because we basically help you go through that learning curve. So if you feel like you don't know something, we're gonna be there so you to know. And it's also, the main thing is a confidence thing, right? When I'm in the studio, like numerous times, from Yeezus album with Kanye to Life of Pablo with Kanye to his last current album, Donda, you know, it's like when you in these rooms, it's like 8 to 12 producers, in 3 different rooms, and you trying to get the best performance. You're trying to get the best. You're trying to get the best uh, overall, product to give out to the universe. Because at the end of the day, Large always told me about Large always told me um, about like your name, you know. Um, your name is like, a Large Professor or Kanye. They're the marquee artist, right? It's
yeah,
their name that everyone is talking about. It's their art that's gonna be there forever. Yeah, you produced it. Yeah, you engineered it. Yeah, you was part of the artwork, but it's their name. So that's what I always tell people. Like, you gotta be there for the artist. You gotta when you there for the artist, you gotta make sure that the artist gets the best results from you. You know, and the main thing also is that just to like put your ego to the side. Because sometimes, when you're working with certain people, you gotta let them know that I'm here for you. I'm here to broaden your vision. But you brought me here for a reason. Let me try to show you what I'm doing. I
yeah,
remember I remember when we were working on the Life of Pablo album. Uh, I'm in the room, me, Mike Dean playing Pat, and then Rick Rubin come in. Right now, Rick Rubin, like he's the father of Def Jam. This man,
yeah,
outside of hip hop, Johnny Cash, right? This man has so many Red Hot Chili Peppers, like he has so many accolades
yeah,
outside of hip hop. So I'm in the room with Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin is playing us what he thinks should be on Life of Pablo, and I'm basically, you know, with the knowledge of always me being around large and learning, sample textures and where these things are coming from. I'm telling Rick, oh, this is the big step, and these are We Gon Rocky drums, and this and that, and he's looking at me like dissecting what he's doing, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if he is gonna mess with it, but go to the room and play it for him. And it's just like, Rick could have been like, oh man, like you guys are just trying to like thrash my stuff, but he's like, all right, you know, thank you for the input, like
Yeah.
and that's the one thing, I learned from Rick Rubin, just, you know, seeing a dude like that come in the room and work the way he works. It's very humbling sometimes, and he don't know me from a hole in the wall, but he knows that I'm in a room with very, very gifted and talented individuals. We had BB Borelli there. We had Chance the Rapper there. Um, countless other people that were just coming into like 3 rooms where we were working at it when we was doing Life of Pablo. Even when we were working on Yeezus album, and I get the call from Young Chop, like, yo, come to the studio. I'm working on an album, and boom, I come meet him downtown, and we just chopping it up. And he's like, yo, man, I'm the production consultant for Yeezus album. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I need you to, you in that Euro EDM world. Like, this is what you do. Like, this, right? You know about the Berdinskis and the Stufensteins and Gabba music and hardstyle, and like this is the Amalkis. You know these people. You go on tour with them. So I'm like, and when I go in the rooms, and it's just like, oh, there's my boy Hudson Mohawk. Oh, there's Lunes from Tonight. Like, oh, what you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we're working on Ye album. They did Blood on the Leaves. So it's just when you get in those rooms, you have to like just do your part. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think, look, I'm gonna go in the room, and it's like, nah, you have to be ready at all times.
Yo, it's crazy, bro. Cause it's why I respect Fat Joe, bro. Cause I was watching another podcast. Long story short, he was basically saying like, yo, and he wasn't saying it bragging. And this is why I respect him. He was on some like, yo, I put a lot of people on. He was like, I put French Montana on. He was like, I put DJ Khaled on, right? And the point of this story is he was like, yo, but he's on a higher level than me. And I go anywhere with that man. That's my brother. He was like, I open the door for him. I go anywhere with him. I basically play his security. He was like, not because I'm his son or I'm his Doja boy, because that's my brother, and I just know how to play my lane, my part. You know what I mean? A lot of people, like you said, and he said, bro, a lot of people just don't know how to play their role or even just play a role. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially, if they're a producer or a beat maker and they get lucky to be in a room with one of these people because of their humbleness and their work ethic, and then, you know what I mean? They just got to learn how to figure out which one they're going to do. Like, for example, if you just started out beat making, you ever get into that room with those type of people, like, I'm not saying don't try to do something else because nobody wants to be put in a box. But, like, if you was just put there to be, to beat make, then go there and, beat make. You get what I'm saying? Don't like, obviously,
a lot of the greats, they were good at one thing. Yeah. Dave Grohl was Nirvana's drummer. Yeah. Marvin Gaye was just a drummer. A lot of these people, they were good at one thing, but then in the course of their relationship, in the course of time and space, they became something even bigger because people were like, oh, you know how to, make a sound, be different. You know how to do this. You know how to do that. So I feel like that's super important. And it's not like you're in a box. It's that you're actually good at one thing. And then when you in that room, you show them like, yo, you know about this? I mean, especially, working on Donda album, and being in the room with Mike Dean, being in the room with Object Collective and all that, and it's like you know, Ye come in the room and he's splitting out ideas, and he look at me, he say, yo, can you do me a favor? Can you write this down for me? I'm like, hell's yeah. So I'm writing down. I could have been like, bro, like I'm not writing down what? Like this not my no.
Yeah, I
This is
understand. You
your
support.
album.
Yeah, it's your album. You're
This
like
is
you said,
your
you're supporting
album.
his vision.
You know, so I boom. So
Yeah.
now he's coming in the room, and I'm just typing in everything he's saying. Yo, on Off the Grid, I want this to be like this. You know, and all these songs, I'm just typing it down. So you know, so when he leave, we all just doing our work, and I'm like, guys, don't forget, Ye said this. Yo, God, forgot, God, Ye said that. You know, I bet. So Ye say put up the whistle on this part. Like, you know, these are just little things that when he comes back into the room, it's like, this is dope. And he's like, oh, you know, now he's saying the notes, and he's not even asking me like, yo, can you type? He just see me typing it up, like, and he leaves. And I feel like, you know, when you in these rooms, man, like, you know, if Ye just wanted me to do that and work with Mike Dean, because that's my big homie in that situation, that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there to go to the other room to talk to Ye and ask him, throw him ideas on what I'm doing. Nah, let's finish.
Let's get your vision.
Let's finish the mission.
Yeah.
The mission is to put out this album, right? And I could be the dopest engineer, but my mission is to make sure that these songs get done, you know, and that's the one thing too. Like, you know, when I'm in the studio with Ghost, you know, I'm really humbled for him to even tell me, you know, yo, did I execute the verse right, you know, like did I, you know, even like, you know, I was just in the first leg of the Wu Nas tour, and I'm just riding with him, and I'm just playing him beats. You know, I like big shout out to my producer plug producers. You know, I told him like, yo, I'm gonna be on the tour with Wu and Nas. Like, yo, I'm gonna be with these brothers. Like, I'm gonna play them beats. Like, I'm around them, and I'm with Ghost and the Sprinter and shit, and I'm just playing him bangers. And he's like, yo, put that to the side. And I already know his texture. You know, I already know his frequency. I already know what's gonna grab him. You know, and
That's fire,
you know,
bro.
and for him just to tell me, you know, and for him just to tell me like, yo, that I like that, but can you tell the producer to, like, you know, change this, you know, change this type of the arrangement, you know, and you know, like I said, man, you know, just being around, like, even like, you know, big shout out to my big bro Street Life, even with him, like when I started crafting his album, you know, it was more like, you know, we came to a solution like, yo, let's just do this album, just no samples, you know, and down the line it really paid off big because we figured out our own sound, you know, versus always using a sample, you know, and um how can I really say it? Like, it was more of a challenge now, you know.
Yeah.
It was more of a challenge of me, you know, linking up with a Bob James, linking up with a Robert Glasper, you know. Big shout to my boy Cass, like hollering at my boy Cass to do some stuff, you know, like, yo, Cass, can you throw some keys on this,
Yeah.
you know? And I feel like that's like super important right now, especially in trying to make better music, you know. And when down the line, 10, 30, 40 years from now, when people are sampling you, your kids, your grandkids are gonna make money off of your music because it's derived from you. You know, it's your intellectual property. You know, so I
Yeah.
always tell people, you know, sampling is great. You know, sampling is the foundation of hip hop, right? But the main thing is to learn an instrument. You know, like you know, I'm not just saying that to say that. Like, I really got my drum pad, you know,
Yeah.
so I can stay sharp. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, yeah, you know, I think there's a misconception of, oh, I'm gonna do the Dr. Dre method. It's in my head. That's cool. I respect that. But if you can at least give them the pattern, you know, then within time and space, you're going to do it yourself, you know? And
Yeah.
And that's the best advice I can really give,
That's
up and coming producers and up and coming artists, man, to learn the craft. Like, you can look at a Travis Scott, you can look at a Quavo. Those guys know how to use Pro Tools. Those guys know how to use they can mix and master their stuff. I've seen it personally. I've seen, you know, so many of these younger producers, you know, pull up the Ableton and then bring the FL and then bring the machine or bring the MPC out and put them all together. Like,
yeah.
that's a skill within itself, but it takes time. And like I tell everyone, man, like, just practice on it all the time. Be consistent. Learn from others, man. Like, if you know your brother or sister is really good at it, yo, man, just ask them, like, yo, I know you busy. Yo, I kind of book some time, yeah, even if I pay for your cab, you can pull up, you can get something to eat. And that's all it is, man. And like I said, like you said, you investing into your craft, that's the best thing. And you investing outside of you investing into your craft, you invested into marketing. That's the most important thing right now is marketing. Like, you can do all that stuff, but you don't market your music, no one's not gonna know about it. And you putting it on a YouTube or social media and all that a couple of times, it's a needle in a haystack. You got to be consistent all over, not just in the music, but in your marketing.
Nah, most definitely. So you met, well, what would you say is your grassroots in the hip hop industry or in hip hop in general? Like, what
um
is your grass like? What got you started, or what was your influence to even do that with your life, basically?
so in high school, like, I had great mentors. One of my mentors is my track coach, and he in my CYO. Um, his name is Russell Capone and Marilyn DiPieto. They're my track coaches for cross country, and you know they were talking about internships, right? They're older than me, and they were going to college, and they said, yeah, we need to take internships, to get into our line of work. And I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, I'm in high school, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna go get an internship at Def Jam, right? And at that time, I'm already DJing. I'm already making my own little mixtapes. Not really. It didn't get big, but I was doing my own
Your
little
own thing.
mixtapes,
Yeah,
doing my own tapes, and finding exclusives, things of that nature. And I just kept calling Def Jam, like, oh, I'm gonna be part of your street team. I want to be part of your street team. I want to be part of your street team. So I just kept calling them, and the dude's like, damn, you mad persistent. Like, yo, be here by 1 o'clock. So I got to Def Jam. Big shout to Jeff. He's the dude to interview me, and he's like, yeah, man, we're gonna need you here by 3 o'clock. And he's like, aren't you supposed to be in school right now? And I'm like, yo, listen, like, this is my priority. Like, whatever y'all need me to do, pass out flyers. If you want me to put the what they call outdoor advertisement, what we call we pasting. We was one of
yeah.
the first, like, I have pictures of me, you know, 17, 16, 17, 18 years old, putting up We Paste on the bodegas for
Yeah,
Flex album, Murderers, Jay-Z Volume 3. Like, I had my own little crew from high school. And that's
that's
what I start.
fire.
That's when I start learning the value of marketing. That's what I start learning the value of self-promoting, and you know, you meet people like, I met Plain Pat, at Def Jam. Down the line, he ends up becoming one of Kanye's right hand guys. You know, and it's the fact that I met him. He knew me. Like, oh, you worked at the street team. Big shout to my big bro DJ Enough. Another key piece to my
That's fire.
success, right, is because I always brought him a mixtape every week. You know what I mean? Every week or every 2 weeks, I bring him my new mixtape. And every Fridays, I don't really have that much money, So every Fridays you'll go to the labels, you know, Bad Boy, Def Jam, Universal, Raucus, G Street, and they will give you free vinyl if you had your mixtape and you put their songs on your tape. But I was having a kind of hard time on grabbing some vinyls from like Columbia, uh, and a few other bigger labels. So I went to Enough's office, and he had Lady Luck at the time. He had Jinx the Juvie. He did the Scarface soundtrack, and I was like, "Yo, man, I'm having a hard time in getting some vinyls." So he was like, "Yo, hold on one second," and he basically called all the labels for me. And it was like a 10-minute call. He called all the labels for me. Hey, what's up, yo? It's DJ Enough. I want this. I'm with one of my heavy hitters. I need to put him on the list, and I'm gonna put him on the phone. Boom, put me on speakerphone. I gave him my address. I gave him that. Boom. He you know what I mean. He did that for me. You know what I mean. Then he's like, yo, um, I'm gonna put you on to this company called RPM. They're one of my partners, Renee McLean, and you just come here every Friday. If you can't get it from the labels, he's gonna give it to you, for free, right? And it was just like that's what I was learning. Like, I remember I found out that Violator was in the same floor as me, but they're in a different section, like past the like it was weird. Like it was Def Jam, Murder Inc., uh, Mariah Carey label, DMX label, Bloodline, and then it was Island, and then it was Violator, right? So I heard that Jonathan Lighty was in the building, and for me, I'm a huge Mobb Deep fan, so I wanted to get in with Mobb Deep so bad that when I found Jonathan Lighty was in the building, I was like, I'm gonna mosey my way inside here, just tell him like, yo, I work for the street team. How can I be on your service to work on the Violator side? And I remember walking into the room, not even knocking, just walking into the room, and it's Nori with a blunt and Jonathan Lighty's cutting his hair. He's like, yo, close the door, close the door, close the door. And I closed the door. And he's like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yo, you got to knock on the door, shorty. And I'm like, yo, what's up now? I work for the street team. I just want to know if you need anything. I heard you in the building now. And he was like, yeah. You got to knock on the door, though, because, the weed and, we're not supposed to be smoking weed in the building and all that. And I was like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, just come back like in 3 days and stuff. I give you some material and all that. So 3 days later, I come, knock on the door. He's like, who's this? I'm like, oh, it's, Gustavo from the street team. And he was like, yo, come in. And then he was like, yo, man, like, I got some new music. And then I would just start going to his office, like every time I went up there, I went to go see him. He started inviting me into Mobb Deep sessions. Like, yo, come to Chunk King on Varick Street, and I would go over there, and it's like, damn, I'm with like P and Havoc, and they're recording like all this crazy music. So it's like I said, it's like it was like the relationships that I started at like my teens that I still have now, and the main thing is that I never burnt my relationships. I never like, just always ask. Like I never was like that with them. I always just like, how can I assist you guys? You need something, you looking for something, I got you. Even I remember when I started working for DMX's label, big shout to my big bro Jimmy Kendricks, right? He's the one that got me the position to work for X label, and X brother was like, yo, man, where's I need some haze, man. I need some fire weed. And I was like, yo, we gotta go uptown.
Baby.
We gotta go uptown. And so he was like, man, I can't go uptown and I can't go grab. He gave me like a little 400. Go grab him some joints real quick. Came back to the office, gave him some weed, and he's like, damn, I be taking the train up there, can you bring me to the spot one night? I'm like, yeah. So we go to the spot and we chill, and you know, just me and him just talking on the phone, like just not talking on the phone, just talking on the train and all that. He's like, man, you know a lot about hip hop. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, we're doing a Bloodline compilation. I want you to lead it. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, man. He said, you mad cool. You know, you're not kind of like one of these guys that like take offense for me just to even like take a ride an hour and then come back and like, so he said, go right ahead and stuff, right? And that's when I first started to work with Kanye. You know, this is before he got into the car accident, and I wanted to do this song. It was G Unit and the Locks, right? And I was gonna have X do the hook, and my boy Ramses from Rockefeller. I was like, yo, I need Kanye number, and he's like, he gave me Ye number, and I was like, yo, Ye, you know, I need you on this project I'm working on. And he's like, oh, you the mixtape dude, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm the mixtape dude. He was like, yo, what up, man? I'm trying to get my mixtape popping. You know, it's called it was before Get Well Soon. He's like, yo, I'm working on my own joint. I'm rapping now. I was like, oh, where? I was like, yo, let's hear it. You know what I mean? So, he gave me a bunch of drops. You know what I mean? Like, he gave me a whole bunch of drops, and then like maybe a month or two later, like he got into that accident, and then he hit me back again. And he was like, yo, man, like, you know, I'm about, you know, like, if you want to work with me, you know, just come to my crib. So I went to his crib in Jersey, and like the most inspiring thing to this day, like, you know, God is the greatest. Upon what to Allah, you know, inspiration. My son's my biggest inspiration, right? But to go into that room and to see him with his jaw shut where he couldn't even talk, and this man is in front of a Yamaha mixer mixing and recording himself and making a beat. I said, yo, this guy can do anything.
And yo, bro, this shit is, let me tell you, bro, this shit is so inspiring to listen to you talk, bro. I don't know about all my other viewers, bro. Yo, bro, that's beautiful. Yo, God is good, bro. That's a blessing to be a part of everything that you was a part of, bro. Yo, can you define the difference between a DJ and a producer? Because I'm pretty sure you do both now, you know.
Yeah. All great DJs eventually become producers, you know.
Nah, yeah.
All because you know what it is? It's your ear. You know, DJs have to know how to move the crowd. DJs have to know how to drop a certain song to get the party going. DJs got to keep the consistency. DJs is always sorting through records, right? 45s, 7 inches. You know what I mean? Hearing dub plates and, oh, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna add this, and and I feel like the DJs, some of the great DJs, you know, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, you know, Large Professor, DJ Premier, you know, a lot of them, you know, really make great production because of that, you know. And RZA, I was just DJing with RZA on the tour, on the Wu Nas tour. He had like a little after party shindig, and I'm learning from him still to this day, learning because, you know, I worked with RZA for 5 years, and the most humbling experience of my life is working for that man, because he taught me so much about, like, what Large has taught me about spirituality, music, and to really, really like love this, you know, because the one thing I learned about these gentlemen was that, you know, they came in a time when music wasn't really $1 billion,
For real,
conglomerate. You know, it was a few million, a few 100 million. Yeah, we was getting there, but it's not where we at now. You know, it's not. Dudes was getting $250 a beat, $1 million a beat. Like, certain brothers were getting the caliber. Certain brothers getting a little 100, little 150. you know. But to get like now, like producing now, they, you know, you get these deck deals, and it's like, ah, yo, you can, you know, work on these albums. Here's $1 million, you know, just for you to produce, you know, like um two, 3 tracks. You know, back then, like I said, they, you know, you had dudes, you had like a Marley, you know, you had like Marley commanding, you know, some nice paper, you know what I mean, like to the M's, but it's not how it is now. So it was always about the love, you know, it was always about the love for hip hop, you know,
Yeah.
and for, like myself as a DJ, you know, I put that into the music, you know, like, yo, the drums gotta knock a certain type of way, the bass line gotta come in a certain type of way, that synth gotta come in, like, you know, I always tell people that, like, you know, when you're in the studio and when you're dealing with a certain producer, it's not your vision. If I'm telling you, put the piano in bar 8, put the piano in bar 8, you know, I have a certain arrangement. So that's, as a DJ, you start to pick up on that, you know? You start to, and I feel like that's a major thing for being a DJ, you know, and especially I'm a DJ, like, you know, like you know, if people really know, like these are my 45s, man, like these are rare 45s, like, you know, like Michael Jackson, Liberian Girl, like Prince. These are things that I to this day, like, this is not something like I play with. Like, this is rare. This is Queen. You know, like, we
Yeah.
gonna rock you. You know, like, these are things that I do every day. It's not like, oh, I stopped because I got to a certain plateau. It's like, man, you always gotta be a student. I'll never, you know, a lot of people, as a recent, you know, naming me a GOAT, and I'm like, I'll never be a GOAT. I'll always be a student. You know,
Yeah.
I always,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many accolades.
That's beautiful,
You
bro.
know, I got nominated. You know, like I said, working with RZA. You know, I got nominated for Emmy for the Wu-Tang doc,
That's fire.
for being part of the soundtrack. But that is not like that is nothing to me yet. Like,
That's
that's
fire.
cool. That's cool. Like, I love it. You know, like, you know, that's I have some great accomplishments in my life, but there's so much more I can do now. You know,
Yeah.
because of what I learned, and I feel like that's important. You know, that's important for me to start knowing that. You know, and for my main thing is to pass it down. You know, like, pass it down. Come over here. This is my son. This is my son.
How
You
you
know what I mean?
doing?
This is my son. Like, everything with music, like, he I teach him. He knows everything about music. Like, recently, he just I took him to the record shop, and what you asked for? What did you want? Metallica. He wanted Metallica.
Metallica.
You know, other parents, you know, hip hop parents, they would be like, yo, you know, keep him hip hop. But I was like, nah, he got to be well rounded. You know what I mean? So, you know, go right ahead.
That's fire.
You know,
Um.
but like I said, you know, I look at hip hop as my son. You know, I got to teach people, and there's a lot of great people, like my enlightener, intelligent hoodlum. You know, he took me in at a very young age, and I was very, very rough around the edges. Even till now with him, I'm very rough around the edges. But him, Marley, Killer Shah, Large, Ghost, Street Life, they seen something that I didn't see in myself, you know, and they just took their time to, like, polish it, you know, and refine it, and I'm still refining till this day, you know.
That's fine. That's the most humblest thing. You know, I'm honestly, I'm like that too. I'm like, I'm always gonna learn, no matter what, every day. I feel like any human who, it don't even have to be about music. Like, people who don't do what we do, I feel like people who just know that they just a student to life. You know what I mean? And learning every day. I give you an example of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You got some people that are like in their 40s or 50s. It could be family members, friends, or whatever, right? And they stuck in their ways. But then you got other friends or family members that are that same age that probably had that same mentality, but you see that person trying to make a change. You know what I mean? Because they probably just woke up. Hey, better late than never. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure somebody graduated college at like 89 years old or even older, and that's a blessing to them. That's something they wanted to do before, you know what I mean, their number was up. Another question I got for you, which I find pretty interesting, you know, and your story is one of a kind, is fire, bro. Um, Dang, bro, to work with X, bro, and yo, X and Nori, my favorite rappers, um, and that at that time. But anyways, when performing live, do you perform? Do you when performing live, do you prefer to be solo, like as a DJ, or have an artist sing, perform as you play in the background? Like what would you prefer? Like
It,
what's your
it's based on the occasion and what we doing, but I always like to have a different energy there because now it's both of us going back and forth. Like last night I went to go see Large Professor. You know, get on the mic. You know, usually I always see him on the turntables. He's been doing a lot of his turntable stuff. But I seen him on the mic yesterday. Big shout to my other bro Wattage, and you know, like I said, they know how to command that crowd. You know, it's that crowd control. You know, so but you needed that DJ. You needed
yeah?
that DJ to put the frequency out there. You know, so it all works. You know, within the same frequency. So man, like I said, it's birthday occasion, but I always like to have the MC come through, you know, and you know, and be the sole controller of that, you know.
So we all, you know, you told us you started out, you know, DJing and doing the mixtapes and the street team. But like, was you always producing on the low like Ye, or was you just did like when did you start producing? Like,
I
you
was
know what
I
I'm
was
trying to
I
say?
was always producing. You know what it was like like you used earlier about the whole Fat Joe thing. Like you know, sometimes you got to be number two. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes you just got to be number two, right? So
yo, bro.
I was making beats, but then I met these brothers called the Now and Laters. They're from Queensbridge. They literally live three blocks away from Queensbridge, and everyone from the hood will come to their crib, and they're making beats out of an MTV Music Generator, PlayStation, and
That's crazy.
one of my friends, you know, one of my friends Ray, because we all worked in a movie theater in Sunnyside, right? And he was like, "Yo, my boy Ben Grimm, my boy Abe, like they nasty on these beats." And I was like, I was making little pause tapes, you know, like I would get a sample and I'll just pause, I still, like, I still, one of these things, you know what I mean? So, you
Raise
know,
it up a little higher so we can see it.
yeah,
If you could, if it's
so
possible.
this is like, there's a pause, you know what I mean? Like if you guys can really see it, but
Yeah,
you
there
see
we
like you
go.
can do pause and we can record and all that, and
That's throwback.
I would I would make these tapes just to get my ideas down, and then when I met these brothers, I was like, damn, y'all nice, but I'm gonna learn from y'all. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn.
Yeah,
I'm gonna learn y'all techniques, and I'm gonna teach y'all. And yeah, so I basically went back and just was like, let me learn from them. But I always was making beats, and
that's
and,
fire,
and,
bro.
and I always would find samples, and then I would just come through my little records, and then be like, yo, I found this sample, like let's hook it up, and they're like, and then I'll know the timestamps, like from 3 to 6, and then I wanted to cut through, and then from 9 to 12, I want it to be, this is the sequence, and then I would tap it out for them, and then they're like, they would put it on Pro Tools for me, and that's how I started to learn. Like, I bet, you know, I there's certain things I was never good in. Like I'm starting to get back on my MP again, but Pro Tools was like my easiest thing to learn how to make beats, because all I would really do is lay my foundation in, put in my drums, put in the bass line, and then it was easy for me to make beats on Pro Tools. And so those brothers use Reason, so they're teaching me Reason, they're teaching me Pro Tools, and I got it right eventually. So I always had a producer's ear, and I was always around a lot of great producers.
That's good, bro. God bless, bro. Um, Yo, I know that you don't care for like accolations and like everything that you've done, like you just said earlier, you're a student. But like, we just heard you just told us you was humble about your come up. You did the street team. You stood in your lane. You was okay with being number two because eventually one day, you know, you're gonna be number one. You feel me? So how did you feel though, bro, honestly, personally, when you first had your first song you ever produced played on Hot 97? Like,
Man, yo, I'm gonna tell you, I had my son with me when my song played on Hot 97 by DJ Enough at the New Net 2. And as I always say, it's about relationships. It's about being humble. Uh, it's about not overusing your relationships. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those dudes that, just go out to dinner. Yo, what you doing today? Oh, you chilling? And just chop it up. Oh, I never, you know, I sent E a text. I'm like, yo, I'm about to release this record. It's a banger. Um, let me know. Let me know and stuff. And he called me. He called me like, no, he didn't call me. He shot me a text, and he was like, I'm playing your record all week. And I'm like, he's like, your record. I'm about to play your record in 5 minutes. So I'm like, oh shoot. So I told my son, like, yo, I'm about to screen record this real quick. And I had my son next to me, and he was like, Dad, that's your record. They're playing your song. They're playing your song on Hot 97. And I was like, I really do this for my son, you know? I don't do it for me anymore. I did it all. I've been around the world. Me and Lodge were just talking about this last night. Like, we've been on tour. We went to Japan. We went to Bristol. We went to Glasgow. We've been around the world, man. Like, we've been around the world on a world tour, like Tribe said, and
that's fire, bro.
and so, and for E to play it really meant a lot. And for me, like, my big bro, Foul Monday, he's like, he's one of the most nastiest MCs right now. Like, a lot of people don't talk about him, but that man got accolades. Like, he on Sean Price albums, you know what I mean? He on Tragedy Gaddafi albums, you know what I mean? He on Killer Shah albums, he was the next one up under Price. Like, that was Price's man's. Like, like, he did the hook. He did the hook for Clans, I think Clans and Clicks, for the boot camp Wu-Tang track. Like, he did the hook for it. He's the one that put that together. Like, and he got songs with Rock Mars. I think he has this one song I heard of him, Rock Mars, Helter Skelter, and him. Like, he, and I have an album with him. It's called Mud Brothers. We released this video that I directed. It's called Smile. And it's just been a real, like, we started to record that album during the pandemic. It's him. There's only two artists I worked with during the pandemic. It was him and the young God, Sparks God from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? At the time I was living in Bushwick, and I had the studio in my crib, just like how you did, to kind of avoid the headache, to avoid, oh, I need an engineer. So I just had the studio in the crib, and I was making these beats, and me and my longtime collaborator Jamie Z, I would just do the ideas and I'll send it back to him, and he'll send me it back to me, and then we'll just do what we have to do. And then I'll just like, oh, I hear foul. I hear, you know, being a DJ, like I said, it's like, when you do blends and all that, who you hear, who voice you hear, like, oh, I hear this person's voice. You know what I mean? Big shout out to my boy Jamil Honesty. He's one of the people that I got on this Sparks God album, and you know, I was like, yo, I hear Jamil Honesty's voice on this. You know what I mean? Yo, cut through on this. You know what I mean? And it was like that, man. But yeah, like Foul Monday, he's definitely one of, like, to me, one of the hottest artists out of Queensbridge, one of the hottest artists out of New York. And really soon, man, when we start really moshing really hard on these records, Smile is, I feel like Smile is one of my best songs I have ever produced. And I have a lot of great songs, a lot of great production that I'm about to release. I got a song with Prodigy I'm about to release that he did for me before he passed away. One of my big, big homies. I miss him every day. Just that dude
That's fire.
put me on to mad knowledge about the music business, about publishing, about life. I would just
Yep.
go out and chill with him. But my main thing is, like, that song meant a lot to me, Smile. It didn't really I didn't get played on Hot 97, but it's a record that resonates with everyone, because he says, don't forget to smile, because we lose that, as we get
Yeah,
older. As we
most
get older,
definitely.
we lose our happiness sometimes, because we're so institutionalized towards, we got to take care of our kids, we
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
work, and then we make excuses. Upon ourselves, like, oh, I don't got time, and you do have time. We all have the same 24 hours, right? If we got to work for 11 hours and we got to take care of our kids, and we have that 2 hour gap, versus us scrolling on Instagram, versus us scrolling on TikTok, versus us watching Netflix or watching Hulu on the phone, or just chilling out. Take that time, that hour or two, to develop a business, or call people that and start little by little. I feel like that's super important, that we start doing that. Just I
true.
even myself, I make a lot of excuses sometimes, and I'm learning, day by day, stop making excuses, and just go for it.
Yeah, bro. So, just honestly, I'm learning that too, bro. I say this year will be my down year, but again, I'm still like adjusting to fatherhood. But I mean, as far as like, I was like really big on like eating healthy and like exercising, and like this whole year I slacked, bro. But
Year ain't over though, bro. It's only,
nah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean.
I know,
Year ain't
it's not
over. We
over,
ain't done.
know.
We ain't done. You can do
I
that.
started,
Listen, bro. Listen. You can do. The one thing I can tell you about
day at a
exercising,
time.
and especially that I learned during the pandemic, right? You can run in place for 20 minutes. You can do a whole bunch of calisthenics.
That's
You
what I
know, you
do.
know, like I said, versus scrolling on that Instagram, and go boom, go knock out a little 20 every hour, a little 10. That's how I be doing. Like my joint got right. Like I started getting right. Like I was
Nah,
doing
yeah, I feel
10
you.
every hour, 10 push-ups every hour, 10 push-ups every hour. Then 2 weeks later, I'm doing 20 every hour, 20 every hour, 20 every hour. Sometimes
Yo,
I feel like
check out.
I got things to do today, so I'm gonna do like 5 hours. I'm gonna do my little 40. I'm gonna do my little 40 clip, right? And then I grew to my little 60. 60 every hour. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm just, getting my way up to 100. You
Yo,
know.
check out this app. It's called Six Pack. Honestly, it's straight calisthenics, and it just works on nothing but your core. But I got another dope question for you. I see you made the theme song for Adult Swim. You feel me? How did that come to life?
Oh, now I would. That's my boy Vinyl 3000. Uh, I just, I had a store on Canal Street called the Producer Plug Store, in collaboration with Street Life and Method Man. And Vano we have mutual friends, and he came to the store one day, and he just wanted me to like tap up some drums for him real quick, and I was just basically just tapping out the drums in the SP, you know. But that's his creation. He just wanted me, Sometimes, like I said, man, a lot of producers, sometimes a lot of producers they just want to hear what I would do to it. That's like, and I feel like that's the beauty of having certain people around you.
Nah,
Um,
I feel what you say. It's crazy. The coincidence is like God is good, bro. You just said that, and then Cash came up because you brought him up earlier when you was like, yo, like if I was making a beat and I wanted some keys on it, I'll hit up Cash. You get what I'm trying to say? The same way your boy, like you just said that was his project, but he wanted you to hit up the drums. So it's the same thing. That's beautiful. I like the unity in the community. You feel me? That shit rhymed, but I didn't mean to rhyme, honestly. That ass. How did you get into beat battling?
man, like I said, the whole beat battle thing, it really came from like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's a lot of dudes that are trash producers, man, but they got big mouths and they know how to market their stuff, right? And I really wanted to, I really wanted to show the real good beat makers slash producers battle these dudes. And
Yeah,
when it came down, those beat makers slash producers were annihilating a lot of those guys, man. And it's all because of being humble, man. And I just really wanted to show them, like, yo, you guys talk a lot. Let's see if you can really go into tests. But what a lot of my producer plug champs and a lot of my producer plug community, what they always hit me on DM is like, yo, man, you got us ready when we had to be in the studio. And I'm like, what you mean? And they're like, when you say, yo, send over for the battle 7 to 10 beats, right? When we actually in the room, sometimes it's so intense because there's so other producers there. And they're like, did you know? I said, I made that out of design. I know how it is to be in the room with these people. I know it is how to be like I'm a ghost. Like yo, it, to this day, to see Street Life call my phone, to see Meth call my phone, to get a text from RZA, you know, it's surreal. Like, it's like, yo, I grew up listening to you guys. Like, to go to Mike Dean's house and help this man's career for 9 years. Like, no one did not know who he was. He was just a Kanye producer, right? And to help him on a marketing level, to do a boiler room, to introduce Travis Scott. Like, a lot of people didn't know who Travis Scott was. People were like brushing me off. I'm like, yo, this guy's gonna be the next one. Like, trust me, he got a fire album. So even like, even meeting Young Chop, at Universal Music Publishing, and he's like, oh, this is my artist, Chief Keef. And I was like, who's that? And he's like, you don't know who Chief Keef? I was like, nah, I don't know who that is. And he's like, and he just showed me his iPhone. We've dropped a video yesterday. It's called I Don't Like. It got 3 million views. I was like,
that shit crazy, bro.
I was like, bro, let me work with you. Like, let me learn from you, and but him and his manager seen that I was like, the humility, like, yo, I want to be part of this, like, let me in, like put me onto this new movement, like, and then they found out, like, oh shoot, this dude is like, he's great in his own lane, and I feel like that was something big for me, because it gave me, talking points, it gave me talking points, because I can say I was there, I can say I went to O Block, like, I was there, I went to Lamron, I was there in the height of all of that, 2012, I was there, and a lot of people, can talk about drill, like, there's only one father of drill, it's Chief Keef and Young Chop. Everything else, drill wise, came from those gentlemen. They started it. They it's the name and all that other stuff. But yeah, man, it's just
That's fire,
a
bro.
lot of that stuff, man. And like I said, the main thing is that I made Producer Plug, right? The beat battles. So when these producers go in these rooms, they'll be ready. They're ready to go. The intensity, the like, oh man, is he gonna out edge me? Damn, I didn't get the placement because of this, or it's not even sometimes about the placement. It's about, damn, dude, really, he came right. Like I need to go back to the drawing board, and that's why, like, it's the one thing, man. Like I say about working with Kanye is that a lot of people, the media depicts this man as like some crazy dude, but in all reality, he's one of the most humblest people I've ever worked with. He's in a room with some of the greatest producers, and he just sits back and tell them, hold on a second, and then we'll go on the MPC, or we'll go on the ASR or whatever thing they're doing, and he would tweak it up, and then they'll just be shocked and awe, like, oh shoot, it's like he's our Quincy Jones, like he's our Quincy Jones of our time,
Time, yeah.
and every producer would love to work with him because
That's a fact.
he knows like hits. He knows this stuff, and him, Large Professor. I mean, I'll have sessions with Large, and he would be like, "Yo, I'm gonna go." Rest in peace to my big brother Carnage. He passed away and all that. He When we was working on still on the Hustle album, and I was playing him the Carnage tracks, and he was like, "Dan, tell Carnage let me rework that beat for him." And then I told Carnage, like, "Yo, Large wants to take the sample," and he's like, "Oh man, it'll be an honor. It'll be an honor. Like this is." He's like, "Yo, you making my dreams come true. Like I can't believe like I even have Large Express's phone number, and he texts me and all that." And I was like, let's just keep adding on, man. Let's just keep adding on, and we should be good, But yeah, the beat battles are so important. They are so important because I'm just trying to put these producers on like a trajectory to when they get into that room, it can be whoever, they're ready.
Yeah.
It ain't like, oh no, what, I don't know what, no, like Mike Dean said in one of our beat battles, one of our first virtual beat battles, we had 200 people on that beat battle, right? 200 people worldwide on a virtual beat battle, right? He told them, attack in the first 3-4 seconds or it's over. We don't have no long ass intros. No one don't want to hear that. Go right in. So yeah, man, it's great times, man. We still moving,
That's fire, bro. I see you very passionate about, you know, hip hop, music in general, not only hip hop, but what does hip hop mean to you? Like the culture, what does the hip hop culture mean to you?
Hip hop is my life, man. I grew up to hip hop. I was
Yeah.
little kid taking that Red Baron 7 train with all the graffiti inside it. Hip hop is my life. Hip hop is who I am. Everything I do is hip hop. When I go to these corporate rooms, and I give them these ideas, these are hip hop ideas. How to help their companies and how they can work with me and help Producer Plug, and I feel like that's the main thing right now. Hip hop has always been the number one genre since the late 70s. When you look at Blondie, Rapture, you see John Michelle Basquiat, you see Fab Five Freddy. She even shout out Fab Five Freddy. Why is she's trying to? John Michelle Basquiat wasn't even DJing like that, but he was behind the turntables. Why was she trying to? She was trying to show hip hop, but people people in corporate America, man, they will always downgrade us. They will always, you know, not pass us the baton. You know, I posted something earlier on my Instagram about how, brother, piece of brother, Dr. Umar Johnson, where they'll give us a loan for student loan. They'll give us a car loan, but when we're trying to get a business loan, they won't give us a business loan. You know,
True
and I
shit.
feel like, you know, that's why I also built Producer Plug, is because a lot of brothers helped me. You know, big shout out to my treasurer, of Producer Plug, Trust No One. This dude, man, he helped me so much to obtain my first store ever, just on a, like, you know, just on the keep my focus, you know. And I, like I said, I had a store on Canal Street. It was one of the best experiences to have. I had it for like a year and a half, but then after COVID, and you know, the landlord, you know how these landlords are, you know, hit me with the 300% rent increase, and I was like, yo, it didn't make any sense. But I'm cooked up a lot of music there. A lot of brothers and sisters came through. I helped a lot of families. I was giving out food and waters and clothes, and you know, just being a beacon to the community, man. Because at the end of the day, man, you know, we gotta understand one thing. You can't wait for this government or any governments or any city councilman or any of them to help us. We gotta help each other. You know, we gotta help each other all the time, every time. You see a homeless man in the street, even though you know he's a drug addict, that little dollar, that change, whatever, that food you give them, that might be the change. Might not even be for that person. It might be someone else seeing that.
Nah, yeah,
It
that's
might
most
be
definitely
someone in the
100.
building seeing that you even was like, oh, why is he even doing that? You really gotta put out the energy, you know. And I feel like, especially now, man, like, you know, we're going through some real hard times, you know, economically. There's a lot of families that are going through hard times, and I feel like, you know, we gotta get back to that. And that's hip hop. You know, we hip hop, we didn't have any of this. We didn't have marketing plans and booking agents and things of that nature. You know, like we didn't have none of that. You know, it was all about a good relationship and having, what I tell everyone in Producer Plug, having a strong foundation. You know, having a strong foundation for all of us. You know, and it's not just, oh, we making money. Anyone can make money, but if you don't have knowledge yourself, right? If you don't have, and that's the most important. That's, you know, we have, you know, the elements of hip hop, MCing, beat break, you know, the beat DJing, you know, being a b-boy or b-girl, right? Knowledge yourself, right? And the producer, you know, that's what it is. And I feel like that's the main thing right now. We have to get back to it. All the braggadocious, you know, I got more money than you, you know. And I want to say one thing too, man. I really, you know, I was upset, you know, a few days ago about the academics comment, but I really feel like what he said was, it was good that came out, man. It was good that came out, because it really put us in check, because we don't care about our elders. You know, we you know,
I care about
Roger Waters from Pink Floyd, he's still on tour, selling out tours. Pink Floyd, right? The Beatles, you know, they just, Rick Rubin and Paul McCartney did a documentary series called 321, where he's breaking down all the tracks, and he's revered and he's loved, right? We don't do that in hip hop. We have this crabs in the bucket, tear each other down. And also, there's a lot of brothers and sisters, when they get to a certain plateau of success, they forget about you, because they feel like, oh, I'm in corporate America, I'm with certain white people. I'm with certain people of my stature of color that got money. I don't need to listen to you. But remember, hip hop is from the streets. It'll always be from the streets. And once you get the streets away from you, that's when hip hop starts deviating away from you. You know what I mean? Hip hop started in the streets, man. Like
Facts.
MC Shan said, hip hop started in the park.
Park. I know, bro. The Get Down, bro. They used to get find an abandoned building, DJ, and throw that party there. You feel me? And the MCs would come through, rap. People want to dance, battle. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. They would literally clean up this abandoned building though before everybody get there. I bet you that spot look clean though. Everything is done swept up. You know what I mean? You got power. They get power. They make sure they get some running water if they lucky. You know what I mean? Like they made it happen with what they had, bro. You know. So who to you is more important, the producer or the artist, or you just feel like it's like Dr. Lee? This is everybody who I interviewed. I don't know why I say this line, but I literally think music is like literally it's like one band, one sound. You feel me? Regardless if I'm the artist or any artist, you know what I mean? No matter what song he's on or she's on, you know what I mean? She's a part of the song. Like you get
You
what I'm
need
trying to
both,
say?
man. You need
Like
both.
yeah, both,
You
right?
need both.
Exactly. All right, we here,
You need
man.
both. You can be, like Havoc. I know Havoc. He multiple times he said that he couldn't afford the beats, so Prodigy's grandmother paid for them to make beats. So and then Havoc's one of the most prolific writers of our time. He might be one of the best best producers of our time as well, and in respects to that. Havoc, man. Havoc. Like I said, listen, man. The Yankees licensed one of my songs last year, Street Life Method Man featuring Havoc. Havoc produced the song. No samples in it. To be in Yankee Stadium with my son, with the guys, to hear it in opening day, man. That was something that I will never ever forget.
Never.
Because I started weed pasting, passing out flyers, and then 20-something years down the line, I'm in Yankee Stadium in a suite with the Wu, with Mobb Deep, people who I really love and support and cherish, you know what I mean, in this life and the next, and be like, damn, this is hip hop. We came a long way. They said to us a long time ago, "Oh, this is a fad. This is just a fad. This ain't real music."
Word.
But we proved them wrong, man. We proved them
That's
wrong.
a fact.
Come on, man. Pusha T's making McRib business. Come on, baby.
Yo,
Big shout out to Push, King Push. I see you.
Yo, how can you say as a producer, producing has evolved?
Man,
Because like my bad to cut you off. Like you just said, like a while back, like in the camps, you make the beats to make the intro smaller. My bad, to make the intro smaller. Like you just get to the point. So like that's one way already. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, and what I learned from Rick Rubin is, less is more. Less is more. Like, yeah, motherfuckers gonna go crazy and put the synths and this and that, but when you hear the greats, man, like, less is more, man. You gotta get right to it.
That's true, bro.
You gotta get right to it. Like you gotta, and that Rick understands the DJ culture. You gotta get right to it. Like I just see my boy Trey Big Trey came in.
Trey.
Yeah, man. Well, to me, man, he's gonna be one of the greatest producers of all time. He has a
That's fire.
great DJ skill that I have never seen someone do before. He's one of like when I had my shop, we did Smoke Champs, and this dude would do 8-hour, 10-hour sets, beasting. Never ever had to say, yo, I gotta use the bathroom. Just like had the frequency, had everyone loving it. Like you know when the DJ's whack, and the host or the people that run the party, like, yo, get your man out of here, man. Yo, I'm telling you, man. We had two Smoke Champs parties, man. And this man, he went crazy. And
Bro, respect.
and him as a producer, man, like he be playing me his little sketches and all that. And I was like, yo, just stick with it, bro. Like you there, like just stick with it. Just and yo, he's like, for me, man, he's like God sent to me, man, because it's like I was going through a lot with the store at one time, and he really stepped up to me. You know what I mean? Like he really stepped up to me, and he was like, "Yo, you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, "Word." He's like, "Yeah, I'll shoot it." He shot the podcast. He produced the whole podcast for me. He shot
That's
the
fire.
podcast. He did the sound. He had 3 camera angles, and yeah, man, like that's super important, man. Like that's super important when you find people like that, man. You know what I mean? You got to keep those people tight in your circle. And like I said, I always refer back to Large Professor, man. He is my grand mentor in life. He always told me, everything that you're looking for, is around you. Everything that you're looking for is around you, and I've really, really, really started to apply that the past 4 years, because I always listened to what he told me, but as of recent, anything that I'm really looking for, or people who that like, oh, I'm trying to do this, they're there. They're there, and they ask me, can I do this? Can I do? I'm like, yeah, let's just make it happen.
Nah, yeah, most definitely. Um, Growing up, who was your major hip hop influence? Like, who was your like you worked with, like, some of the top artists in the game as you when you was in high school in the street team, but like I know you have to obviously I call it code switching, basically like be a fan but not like be a fan, you know what I mean, because you're doing your job, you get what I'm trying to say, you're not like you get what I'm saying. So like who was your favorite artist basically back in the days when you was like when